everyone, Diane here, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to paint a watercolor bird and I'm going to see if I can make it emerge from a colourful background. And I'm using today the Art Nouveau watercolor set from Kuretake and a piece of Meaden cold press watercolor paper. And this is size 12 by 9 and let's get started. Now I don't have anything specific in mind today, exactly what I'm going to do. But the first thing I will do is to cover this piece of paper, this 12 by 9 inch piece, with various different colours. And I think it's often the case that different colours appeal to us on different days. And there are days when you might feel fed up and you probably need then to paint in bright colours. Or, you know, it's one of those days when it's very hot and so you want to paint in blues and things to cool you down a bit. I don't know if there's any truth in that, but I suppose it could be true. So what I'm going to do today is none of the above. I'm painting on, like I said, cold press. So I should be able to get some interesting effects just by putting colours side by side. And my daughter said just now, think of painting as being like eating chocolate, that you get a kind of endorphin rush when you put, is that the right word? When you put paint onto the paper and you see it moving around and the colours blending and so on. I think there's something in that actually. It is definitely true. And the thing to do though is to just allow a certain amount of serendipity. So just pick up whatever your brush feels magnetized towards, and probably best not to smooth out too many edges because you don't know whether that might be what exactly is going to make the painting work in the end. You don't know. It's tempting, very tempting. You find yourself going over there and whatever. But so I'm just literally doing what I said. I am encouraging you to just play with your paints, really. Don't try to be too clever. It's not worth it. So let the paint do the work. Let the water do the wandering. And I've put some blue down here, and that makes me immediately think, well, blue normally goes at the top because of the sky. So maybe when I get all of this space covered, I might feel like turning it up the other way. But I'm going to put a bit of green in there. I don't know why. And notice when you mix green with pink, what do you get? Mud. I don't know what colour that is. I think that's meant to be gold. So we'll put a bit of gold in there. Go back to the pink. Looks starting to look a little bit like Neapolitan ice cream. Do you remember that? We used to have those ice creams in the olden days. I think they were pink, green, and sort of creamy colour. Neapolitan, remember? And we used to have them in wafers, between wafers. Don't know if they still sell that kind of thing. That was what we used to eat. That was a real treat. Okay, so what am I going to put here? What about some orangey colour, some burnt sienna or something like that? Maybe a bit more pink over here. And then I'm not going to leave this alone. I'm going to show you a few techniques. And I'm going to mix it up a little bit, make it a little bit more even. And then I'm going to drop some water all over. And we get like you left your painting out in the rain. And then we'll go for the salt effect, because at the moment I'm experimenting with that. I just got a new salt grinder today, actually. I could bring that up here and use it to grind my pink Himalayan salt all over the background. So there's that. And then maybe I will take some gold ink. This is Winsor & Newton gold ink. The only problem with this ink is that every time you open it, you have to give it a good stir because the pigment or the particles, I think, must be metal. they sink to the bottom immediately. So we'll just put some of that on where it wants to go. Put it on in drops. Yeah, that will do. I was using one of my sharpened paintbrushes there. Remember the other day we looked at these, the idea of sharpening a paintbrush at the end, so it was a pointed stick basically. Can be used for multiple things, so we'll probably let that dry. Meanwhile, I was thinking I did these birds the other day, just sort of branches, and then I put birds on top. So I think I might do something a little bit like that on top of this background. And what we would need to do would be, we would need to put in a branch first, like that, for example. And another one over here, perhaps. And then probably we would want to sketch in lightly our little birds, so we have a rough idea where they're going to go. And don't worry about the background spots. And then maybe another one down here. We will paint our birds in. And then another one over here. Will this work? Good question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put another one here. We will keep these birds nice and simple. So give me a second. I'm going to dry this a little bit. Okay, that is now dry, so I shall scrape off using my credit card the salt. Sorry about the noise. And it looks it's strange, it's gone kind of leathery. But it's a nice texture. You never know what you're going to get, to be honest. So there we are, that's that. Now we'll have to put in the birds. Now the question is, do I paint them in ordinary paint or do I use something different? I think I'm going to go bonkers today and use this. This is the Kuretake Granulating Colors, which everybody has a set of these, or everyone tends to, invest in them, and then we don't know what to do with them. So let's find something. I think that brush is too big. Let's find something to do with them, shall we? Use them up. You can go away for a minute. Now, one of them is going to be blue. Perhaps it's this one. The one that says that it is, perhaps. That looks mauve. Yes, I don't really want mauve. Ah, there we are. That one's called red, and that seems to be blue. Yeah, I don't know. Difficult to say, really. Oh, well. Let's paint an invisible bird. Let us paint an invisible bird. We'll do an oval for the body, like that. Don't worry too much about their head. Paint the beak, and then put the head where it looks cute. With any luck, you'll be able to manufacture your bird. Build a bird. Okay, so then we put some legs in. These are non-realistic birds, okay? And this one up here, ditto. Do a nice oval. Don't worry too much about the head. This one probably will be blue. Okay, and then the body. And then we'll put some legs down here. tail. What colour is this? Ah, that's the blue one. It says it's pink. Could start with the beak and the head and grow the bird down. It's probably the best way to do it, and put the tail up. And then we've got one down here we need. Let's start with the beak. You could call this kind of sketching in a way with paint. I did have one over here, but I don't think I'm going to use that one. And I shall now try to find something a little bit darker. And let's put the branches in. I'm using this paint now quite thick, and we'll put in the leaves, and then afterwards we will embellish them along with the birds. Okay, so let's see, what shall we do next? Let's put some gold lines around these leaves, perhaps, to start with, while we think about what we're going to do next. Maybe gold doesn't show up enough. Perhaps we need to do black. That's white. That might work too. Perhaps we need black and white, black and gold. It's difficult to say, really. We have to kind of work with it and see what happens. The ones that are a little bit darker, they might want white on them. Let's try white. That stands out quite a lot, doesn't it? Put some dots on there, perhaps. Whatever you fancy, really. Doesn't have to be really standy-outy, because sometimes if it's just a kind of layer of texture, you know, it can be quite subtle like that, which you can see if you look at it from the right angle. I think I'm using a very small, yeah, that's a 0.1. I don't know that that's really big enough. I think we'll probably go to a 0.5. And let's do some eyes for our little birdies. I'm doing little triangles for the bird's eyes this time, sort of like human eyes, really, just different. And then we'll pop in their beaks, little pointy beaks. And then what one have I got here? It's 0.5. Okay, so I'm going to go round the outside edge of the bird and his tail. And then we can do some light coloured embellishments like that. This one, let's go around the outside of him with the white. This is a Signo pigment white gel pen. That's okay, looking okay, I think, really. And maybe we'll do the same on this one with the white, perhaps. These, oh gosh, I keep forgetting these words. These granulating colours are really quite nice once they dry. But you never know quite what you're going to get. That's the thing. Because they go all over the place. Look, this is what came out of these containers, and I don't pretend to understand it, honestly. Let's do some circles here. Okay, and I've got one down here, little lonely bird. That's very pretty, that one. I like him. Okay, and can do all sorts of just different lines on them to embellish them. I do remember someone saying, and I think it's true, that when you're using these pens, you have to move fairly slowly with them. There's a tendency to rush your lines, but like that. And if you do, you'll find you don't get a very good line. So it's better to go slow. And then you get a better line like that. I'd forgotten about that. The other day I was complaining about these pens, but actually it's probably my fault. Let's go around this one. This is very pretty up here, quite like that corner. Truly, truly, you never know what's going to come out of your painting, and you just have to start. I often feel very stuck before I begin, but then eventually you run out of excuses for not painting and get started, and sometimes you're really quite surprised by what your paintbrush decides to do. So I always recommend trying to get over that. That's why we do these shorts for you every day if we can possibly manage it. It's getting a bit hectic at the moment because we're getting ready to travel, but we are still trying to keep up the one video short a day, because if you can just do the one short a day, you will find that your painting improves beyond measure. It's true, it really does. I have definitely noticed that my confidence in my ability to produce something has definitely improved since I've been doing something every day. I'm going to come in with a little bit of gold, if I can find it, into the centers of these circles. Little details make a difference. Got some circles here too that we can fill in. Yeah, so don't forget to join our membership, either Patreon or the YouTube membership, and then you will get our prompt every day sent to you so that you can see why I'm painting what I paint in the short, because it's all based on photographs that we've taken in and around where we live. So quite nice, and they're copyright free, so you don't have to worry about using them for anything you like. You can feel free. Okay, well, I think I'm coming to a point now where I feel reasonably okay about this. 4 little birds sitting in a tree. Was going to be 5, and then it was 3, and then it was 4. So there we are. So that's Art Nouveau and gold ink for the background with some salt and some water splotches. And, you know, it takes quite a long time to dry, and it will still be moving even now. So tomorrow morning it'll look a bit different. But look how nicely these colours, which I threw in more or less at random, have sort of spread and created a really nice background. So have fun with that one. I think you'll enjoy it. If you haven't already got some Art Nouveau paints, the link is in the description below, and they're much cheaper now than they used to be. Grab them while you can, I say. Right then, I'll let you go. Have a lovely evening and have fun, do lots of painting, and don't forget to leave a comment, click like and subscribe and turn on notifications and all those good things, because you love me and I love you too. So bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.